Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. So today let's solve more problems. Um, so yesterday we solved up till this make a username question. So the next question we have voting age. So let's try. Let's see how we can do this. All right. So here you have to determine if a person is old enough to vote. We have to read a name and an age from input. And then if the person is 18 or older, then we have to print that person can vote, or 18 and younger, then print that person cannot vote, right? Now let's see how we can do this. First, I have to initialize name, which is a string, and then age, which is an integer. So let's do that first. So it is already done here. So age is also initialized, and we are reading the input as well. Um, Name and age is okay. So we are getting the age as input, right? Um, Also we need to get the name, right? We need to get the name as well. All right. So let's get the name as well. See in name, right? Um, so we need to get the name as well. And then we have to check, right? So if 18 is the age, so if greater than or equal to 18, or we can say if name or not name, right? We have to check age. So age is greater than or equal to 18. If age is greater than or equal to 18, then print. What do we have to print? See out, right? Um, See out name first, and then we have to say, right? What do you have to say? Can vote, right? Greater than or equal to 18, so can vote. So can vote, right? So close it. Or or what is the other case? What is the other case? Else, else, else. You don't really have to check if it is less than 18 now, because obviously if it is not this, then it's obviously less than 18. So don't have to check that. So you can directly see out, right? See out, name, and then cannot vote. So that's it. And then return. That's it, right? Close it, and let's check if it is correct. Let's see. Wrong answer. Something happened here. Let's check. Mm, we got 16 cannot vote. Why did we get this? Okay. Here get line we did name, right? All right. C in name. Okay. Do we need this? Let's see. Probably might not need that. So let's check this. Check if it is now correct. We also have to do get line age, I guess. Um, Robin cannot vote. We just need a space. We don't need get line age, by the way, because we just have to get the input from the user. That's it. So C in age is good enough. But here, we need a space here. So that's it. So let's see now if it is correct. Yeah, now it is correct. So that was how you could do this problem to check whether someone is eligible to vote or not. I hope you got this. Yes, and if someone's here, please do let me know. Just drop a hi. And also, if you have any questions, you can ask them in the live chat. I will be answering them as and when I see your chat. So, yeah. Um, the next question is grade calculator. Let's see how we can do that. Grade calculator. So convert a score into a letter grade. How to do that? Okay. So there is a scores given. We have to print the letter grade of that score. All right. So we need to get a score from the user and then print the corresponding grade for it. All right. Okay. So how can we do this? Okay. I think. All right. Let's see how to do this. Uh, if you are getting the score from the user, okay. Now, now, if the score is 90 or more, we need to print the grade as A. Okay. Now, we can do this using if statements. First, let us try that, and then we can see if there is another approach. Um, I mean, if else statements. So let's see that. Um, if score is greater than 90, all right, greater than or equal to 90, right? Greater than or equal to 90, then 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 what it should be? C out, C out A, right? C out A, else if else if score is greater than or equal to 80, greater than or equal to 80, then C out B. Again, we need an else if score is greater than or equal to 70, C out C out B C, C out C. Let's just copy this. The same thing repeats, right? So here it's going to be greater than or equal to 60, right? And in the last condition, There is no condition to check in the last. So let's just, we can just say else, else the grade is automatically F, right? So that's it. End it, right? So this should be good. Let's see. Submit. Um, all right. Okay. What happened here? It says wrong answer. I'm getting the output as B and it still says wrong answer. I don't know why. I got the output as B here and here as well. Um, do I have to print it as a character? I don't know. Do I have to print it as a character? Convert. Probably I have to print it as a character. I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't know. But this doesn't. Let's see. All right. What happened here? It should be D, right? We just put it as C. Score should be D over here. All right. But we can't do this, I think. Let's see. Um, Earlier it was C over here, so that was an issue, I guess. Okay, I think we had to print it as a character then. Okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, we got the correct answer. Let's actually check the solution. This is more like a, um, what do you say, obvious solution, but let's see if there is a better solution. You won't receive this. I've already received it, so it's not an issue. Um, okay, they have also done the same thing, so it's not an issue. Okay, so that's fine. Uh, all right, let's keep going. Multiplication table, how can we do that? That is the next problem. Multiplication table. All right. Print the multiplication table for a given number. Read a number from the input. Print its multiplication table from 1 to 10. Each line should look like this. Number and then, all right. Okay. Okay. So how can we do this? How can we do this? We have to print its multiplication table from 1 to 10. So you would think of a for loop, right? So how can we do that? We are getting n from the user. Um, so for how can this be done? Loop from 1 to 10 and multiply each time, right? So how can we do that? All right. So for we have to loop from 1 to 10. Okay. So and I'm going to say end I equal to starts from 1, right? So start from 1 I less than um I less than nums dot size, or it has to be only until 10, right? So I less than um I less than or equal to 10, I less than or equal to 10, and then increment I, so I plus plus. And now inside the loop, what should I write? Inside the loop, this should be there, right? So what is the number we're getting? It is n, right? So n, um, n times I. is equal to the result. So, um, okay. So how can we get this? Um, okay. So let me say, can I just see out directly? See out here? Um, Probably not. So the operation is n times. All right. So how can we see out directly? Let's see if we are able to do that. See out. Um, See out. We are getting the number, so we have to print the number. That would be n, and then we have to put this cross sign. So the multiplication sign, which is like a small x, I think. Okay. Anyway, let's just do that. Then the next number has to be this, right? The index, or you can't say index, it's just I. So let's just have I, and then you have the equal to sign. So equal to, and at last you have to compute the value, right? So how can you do that? It is the operation n into I, n into I, n into I, right? And the result of that will be printed over here. So I think this is good enough. Let's see if this is going to work. Um, let's see what it prints or if it works. Okay, we got something. It's not correct, but let's see. What happened here? Um, so 5 into 1. Okay, can you see what happened here? Um, if you can find the mistake over here, please do let me know in the live chat. Uh, what happened here? What did I do wrong? You can look at the code and you can look at the output. Let me know in the live chat what went wrong. What went wrong over here, right? It's printing like 5 into 1, something like 55. What went wrong here? Let me know in the live chat. So if you see here, it's actually correct, but after this 5 into 1, it has to go to a new line, right? I've not added that over here. So it just printed everything. So it's like, it feels like it's wrong. Actually, the logic is correct. So let's just add the slash in here, right? And now you can see, okay, let me just close that. Now, now we got it correct. So that's what we had to do. Just we missed that slash in, right? So that's how we can print the multiplication table. So yeah, if you got it, that is good. Um, and let's keep going. Also, I don't know how many of you are here, so please do let me know if you're here. Just drop a hi in the live chat. Um, and let's keep going. So let's go here. Factorial. Let's check this question. um, factorial, right? So this is the next question we have. Create a function that calculates the factorial of a number. Uh, okay. Read a number from input. Create a function that calculates the factorial of that number. The factorial of n means multiply all numbers from 1 to n together. All right. Uh, okay. Factorial of 0 is 1. Uh, this is how you have to print the result. All right. So how can we do this? How can we do this? Um, Here we have to return the factorial of n inside this function. So n is already initialized. Okay. So what is the formula for factorial, for finding a factorial of a number? Um, what value are we getting from the user? That is important, right? We are getting num from the user. All right. Um, we are getting num from the user, but why is okay? Um, hmm. All right. Okay, now I think we can just say the factorial is n. But okay, all right. So I think we can say n equal to the formula for factorial is, I think, uh, let's check that. Formula for factorial. It is a direct formula. Let's just check it. Um, okay, this one, right? I think formula formula from and for n factorial. This one. Formula for factorial of a number. I think there is this one. And what else do we have? We use, okay, do we use in programming? Okay, this is a recursive formula. Okay, so I think we have to use this thing. We have to use this one, right? So this is recursion concept, right? Um, Recursion. So n into n minus 1 factorial is what you have to take. All right. So how can you do that here? So n is going to be what? N is equal to, I have to call n again here. That is the function, right? So it is going to be n into n minus 1. So n times, and then call this function again, which is the factorial of this thing, right? So call this function again. So n into factorial, n into factorial. How can I do that? Factorial minus 1. But there is also a, all right, how can we do this? Call the function again with n minus 1. Okay, I think this is how we can do it, probably. I'll call the function again here, right? Factorial. Let's try this. Not very sure, but let's see. Okay, we need a semicolon here. No output. We have to return, we have to return n here. Return n, I guess. Um, but here, factorial. Okay. So do we have to store this in nums instead? Nums, not sure why they have initialized it as n over here. Is it good enough if we just returned n? Um, n equal to, or is it nums over here? Return n, actually num, right? Not nums. So how is this possible? Let's check what we get. I don't get anything. So let's just do with nums instead, or num, and return num here, and also here as well. I'm going to pass num. So how is that going to work? Still don't get anything. Still don't get an output. Okay, something has to be changed for sure. Do you have any ideas? Let me know in the live chat. What do I have to do here? Let me know in the live chat if you have any ideas on how to solve this question. How to solve this question. We're supposed to do recursion, that's for sure. But there is something wrong going on here. Let's see what's wrong. Let's see what's wrong. Um, okay. Okay, we need to. Okay, that's fine. The base case is all right. Recursive step is this. Return num into factorial num minus 1. So that's what we got to do. Okay. All right. I got confused because they added another variable called n instead of num. So, okay, that's fine. So we have to just return num into factorial of num minus 1. Okay. So let's just do that. So num equal to, here is going to be num equal to or we can just return directly. Let's do that. Return num into factorial of num minus 1, right? So num into factorial of num minus 1. So that's how the formula should be applied over here. n into n minus 1 factorial, right? So here we are just calling that function again instead of that exclamation mark when we are actually doing it in math, right? So also we have to check the base case here. If num equal to 0, right? This is what you have to check, right? If num equal to 0, then we have to say then we have to say what is the answer then? Then we have to just say then I think we can just say return return. Can we return 0 here directly? Base case if num is 0 or 1, factorial is 1. Okay, even if it is 1, factorial is still 1, right? So that is also there. So if num equal to 0, uh, or can just add it over here, or num equal to 1, then we can just return 1 directly, right? Return 1, right? So return 1 and then just close it, all right? Else it's just going to do this, right? So let's see if this is fine. I hope it is. Yeah, so that was correct. I hope you understood what is this program doing. It's actually recursion that's going on here. So we are just calling this function again, right? Which is already a function. And inside that function, we are calling that function again. So that's how we can find the factorial, right? Because in factorial computation, uh, as you can see here, if you see here, while we compute the factorial, alright, let me just go ahead and explain it on a whiteboard. So why I just explain here why exactly, right? Let it just load. It's gonna take some time. Okay. Okay. Let me just refresh again. All right. So let that load. So what I'm about to explain is, or what I wanted to explain is why exactly we need recursion, right? For finding the factorial of a number. In the meantime, I'll check the chats if there are any. Um, if you have any questions, please do let me know. Um, and I will answer them if I can. So please do let me know in the live chat. Um, This keeps loading forever. I don't know why. Let me try and open up Excalibur if possible. That's better, I think. All right, this opened up. So let me just explain it over here. All right. So first, why do we need recursion? Why do we need recursion, right? To find the factorial of a number. Why even do we need recursion to find the factorial of a number? Why even do we need it? So it's quite simple. Let's just take the factorial of any number. For example, 3. 3 factorial. What is 3 factorial? 3 factorial is going to be, if you expand this, it's going to be 3 into 2 into 1, right? So it will be 3 into 2 into 1. Let's take the factorial of another number. For example, let's take 4 factorial. 4 factorial, all right? 4 factorial, what is it going to be? It's going to be 4 into 4 times, 4 times, it is actually what? 3, 4 times 3 into 2 into 1, right? 3 into 2 into 1, again, right? Now here comes the concept of recursion, all right? Now, after this 4, after we compute 3 factorial, right? What are we doing here in 4 factorial? Again, what operation are we doing another time for a second time when we compute 4 factorial, right? We are, we have already, as you can see here, we have already computed the answer of 3 into 2 into 1 over here. And then again, for finding 4 factorial, we are computing the same thing again in this part, right? We are doing the same thing. So isn't it good enough if I just say 4 factorial is just 4, 4 into 3 factorial? Isn't it good enough if I say that instead of writing this whole thing? Because I already know 3 factorial, right? I already have computed that. So isn't it good enough if I say this? So this is for this operation, right? This thing that we are doing here, right? This is the recursive process, right? This is the recursive process, right? This is where you're using recursion. This is where you're using recursion, right? Because you need to be doing this over and over and over again. Instead of that, you can just call this, right? You can just call this, right? So look at how much, how much work you have saved now, right? So this is where recursion comes handy. So if you didn't understand recursion so far, I think you can just understand recursion from the factorial of a number. It's quite simple. Just try this and you're going to understand recursion. It's the same again. The same concept applies for Fibonacci numbers. Fibonacci numbers, right? It's the same concept. Fibonacci numbers and many more such things where you will need to compute the values over and over again. You can obviously use recursion for that. So that is why recursion is useful. That is why you need recursion. All right. I hope you got it. Um, and let's keep going. If you understood it, well and good. If you didn't, you can always pause the video and rewatch it after the live stream as well. So this is recorded. So you can always do that. So yeah, that was about recursion, and this is a problem where we use that concept as well. So all right, so that was that, and uh, I don't know for how much time we are live today. Um, so sum of numbers, let's look at that problem as well. What do we have to do here? Okay. So read the numbers and then we have to just calculate sum. Okay. The first line of input is count. How many numbers will follow? The next lines have one number. Next lines each have one number. Okay. Or add all numbers together and print the sum. All right. So how can we do this? So we're getting n. All right. Um, you are getting a list of numbers from the user. Okay. All right. Um, the first line of input is a count. How many numbers will follow? Okay, so that is what this is. So the n is count. All right. And then we have these numbers. All right. So how to do that? So let's see. Um, okay. So n, okay, we have n, right? So how can we read, how can we read the numbers? Is it better if we just assign variables? But how can we read these numbers? No, we can't do that, right? We are not setting the variables. We are reading the input from the user. So we have to do get line for sure. Let's do get line. And how can we read this value over here? Get line cn, comma. Also, we had done something over here, which is similar to that. Where did we do that? What was that question that we did? I think it was, let me check. Yeah, get line, right? Um, cn name. So this is the name we are getting from the user. And then cn age, right? Cn age goes to the second line, I guess. No, cn age only after doing get line, cn name, then we can read cn age. Okay, got it. So let's do that here. So let's do that here as well. Where is it? Okay, yeah, over here. After this, right? Um, after this cn, get line cn n, right? There that was name. Here it is n. And then cn, what do we call this? Second element, right? How can we take that element? Maybe just call it cn int n1 or something. Or maybe, yeah, n1 is fine, I guess. N1, Then again we should do get line, right? Get line cn. Now it is going to be n1, right? Now it's going to be n1, and then cn. But how do I know? Okay, I can't know like how much. Okay, I can't know how much of this I might need. So, okay, all right. This is interesting actually. Hmm. I might need a for loop for this. I might need a for loop for this, right? Because we need to read all of this. Even if n is like 100, right? Or even if it is like 1000, right? I still need to read all of that, right? I don't know how, I can't say how much it is. So this can't be done. All right. So then what can be done? Um, okay. After getting n, after getting n from the user, right? I just don't know where, because we need to read this element. How to read that? Let's see. How to read, uh, how to read an element in the second line from a user in C plus plus, or maybe how to read an element in the nth line. That would be better, right? In the nth line from a user in C plus plus. Okay, loop n minus 1 times. Okay, all right. Okay, here. So as I said, like you have to use a for loop. So all this is fine. Okay. So here, what are we doing? Skip the first n minus 1 lines. I equal to 0. Okay, plus plus I. Okay, I less than n. C in current line. What is current line? Current line is what? How to read an, let's say, integer, for example. Integer. Okay. How to read an integer in the nth line. Okay. Okay, now the level is starting to increase, right? So you have to be careful while doing. Okay, here as you can see, there is a for loop, right? So first let's start with a for loop. Okay, starts from 1, goes up till n. Okay, let's first do the for loop. For end, put it here, and I equal to 1, I equal to 1, and then starts from, okay, I less than or equal to n, then I plus plus, and then you have to read the element, right? For that, if you're using an if loop here, if condition, right? So here inside get line, see in current line. Okay. Here current line is what? Current line is current line is do we have to initialize current line? Not sure. Because probably don't need it, right? I think this is like a little bit more complex than it should be. Or this looks more complex than it should be. Read integer from user. No, not this. Want to read an integer on the nth line. Um, how to read multiple numbers from a single line of input. Okay. Okay, but all this is in the same line, right? No, no, no. All this is in the same line, though. Uh, how to read nth line of a file in C using no, no, not file handling. Handle errors. No. Let's see. N n elements. Okay, let's see. Okay, n is the first. N is the first line. N. Okay, n numbers follow. N numbers follow in the upcoming lines. Upcoming lines. N is the first line. Okay, and n numbers follow in the upcoming lines. You can read okay directly. All right. So this is how it can be done. Read the first line containing n. N is initialized to 0. We have to add as well, so that's there. Don't have to read the n integers from the upcoming lines. So this is how we can read. So cn. Okay, let's. I don't know why I changed here. Why did I change it over here? Okay, let's remove it here. Where is our question? Okay, this is where we need to do. I don't know why I changed it over there. Okay, let's remove that. Okay, here for loop, for loop, and equal to starts from 1, right? Starts from 1. Okay, starts from 0. Okay, All right. Start from 0 and then I less than or equal to n and then I plus plus and also there is an if statement, right? Okay, no if statement over here. See and directly read numbers, but we are using a vector to store the upcoming numbers. Okay, but we don't have to print anything, so we don't need a vector. All right, we don't need a vector. Do not have print anything, only sum of n numbers. Okay, all right. No extra memory. Okay, all right. Now let's see. This is okay. I think all this is not required. Don't look at those things. Okay. This is the part we need. Um, all right. What are some few variables used here? Sum equal to, okay. So this is the important line. Uh, what is current number? Current number is initialized to 0. All right. Sum is also initialized to 0. Okay. So we are reading the current number. So current number is going to be, sum is going to be current number plus sum. Okay. All right. So let us just do that. Here we don't need this. For, I'm just going to say C out or here if Cn is greater than current number, right? Okay, first let's initialize and sum equal to 0 and current number equal to 0. So here if if std cn or no need std of course, cn greater than current number. If cn is greater than current number, cn is what we are getting from the user, right? Cn is greater than current number, right? Cn is n. If n is greater than the current number, then what do we have to do? Then what do we have to do? Sum plus, that is just sum equal to current number plus sum, right? That is good enough. And then print sum, right? Print the sum. So see out sum And that's it. I think that is good enough. Let's see if this is going to work. All right, nothing prints, something wrong. Where did we go wrong? Where is the mistake? All right. Do you have to do this? I don't know why this is there as well. Int n equal to 0. Okay. What is the error that it's showing? Let me see if there is any error. Okay. Okay, let's see. Not sure what went wrong there. Just correct. Keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. Let's see. Okay. So why is it giving me web results? I don't know why it's giving me web results. Just giving me web results right now. Okay, let me just go to directly to Gemini itself. Let's see. Just correct this. Correct this. Let's see now. Um, okay. Okay. C in current number. Don't need an if condition, I guess. C in current number. We just have to use this, I think. We are reading some. Okay. You also have to do this over here. Cn, okay, that is also done, I think, right? Probably don't need this. All right. And inside the for loop, only this is done. So I think we don't have to have an if. Can just say Cn current number, Cn, Cn current number, current number. That is good enough, I guess. Do we have to do anything else? No, right? Let's see what this prints. Uh, Wrong answer. At least I get an answer. Okay. So is this the problem? Okay, I think I'll have to do then some plus equal to current number, right? Sum plus equal to current number. Let's see. Oh, let's see now. Still the same thing. It's the same thing, right? It's something else that I have done. Expected 100. Completely different. Expected 100. Okay. And okay, what we're doing here. Let me check. Okay. And Cn, we are reading n, right? And then Cn, okay. Sum initialized to 0. Current number initialized to 0. Okay. It's correct though, right? What is happening here? Something is going wrong. Still something is not correct. I less than or equal to n, right? Okay, here it is only out till I less than n. It is not equal to n. Okay, I less than n. Okay, now the answer is correct, but we also need to print it like this. So let me just do that. Um, so after this, I will have to do sum and then sum. Okay, all right. So now I think we are good. Yeah, so we got it. That is correct. So I hope you got the logic what happens here. So first we are reading n, right? N numbers, right? And then we are initializing some variable to 0 and current number to 0. Okay. After that, we have a for loop, right? Starts from 0, goes up till n, which we are getting from the user here. So starts from 0, goes up till n. And then what happens here? Um, we are going to get the current number, which is going to be n, right? Because n amount of times, right? So current number is going to be at n. Um, and if you do sum, right? Sum, what is this sum? What is going to be the sum? Right? Current number, which is at nth position, which is at the nth position, and plus the previous sum, right? So if you look at, for example, uh, if you look at it over here, for example, if I take this example itself, right? If I take this example that's given over here itself, um, okay. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please do let me know. Uh, all right. Okay. So it's taking a while to load. I don't know why. Why it's taking so long? Okay, I'll just explain it over here itself. For example, let us say this is over here, right? This is n. Okay, I think it's loaded now. Okay, let's just explain it over here. Um, if I take this example that I took, all right, okay. So if you look at this, right, um, then what's going on here? Say, for example, this is going to be n, this number is n, right? Then what does that mean? If this is n, okay, this is n, if this is the nth element, right? Then what would the what would the sum be, right? If this is the nth element, what would the sum be? Sum would be this element plus the sum of the previous elements, right? So that is what we have done here. So n would be this element plus the sum of the previous elements that we have already calculated over here. So sum would be sum would be sum equal to current element, that is n, right? Current element which is at n. So that's going to be current element plus the sum of the previous elements, right? Which we have already calculated. So it's going to be sum, right? And this process keeps going until, you know, until n, right? So that's what the for loop condition is. So until n. So that's what happens here. The only part that you have to remember is that you have to get this n from the user, right? Only then you can know for how much times you have to loop the element. Uh, how for how many times the loop has to run, right? That's why that is the most important part over here. All right. I think that was good for today, right? So let me see if you have any questions. If you don't, I think we can end it there. So I hope it was a good session today, and if you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please do consider subscribing, uh, and also share it with your friends who might also like it. So yeah, I think we can end it there, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Until then.